Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Zappy here, back again with Hunter x Hunter. We are on episode 103, and as you can tell by the microphone quality that it is actually back to normal again. So for the previous two episodes of Hunter x Hunter, the quality was all out of whack, and I didn't know why that was happening, and I thought it was actually the microphone because I've had it for a while. It turns out that it was the port that I was actually using to plug the microphone into that was the problem, the issue there, where I guess there's just a faulty connection there. So I changed it out, put it in a different one, and now it seems to be fine. So good, we're back to normal, which is good for me. It means that I don't have to shell out money on a new microphone. No, I've had it for a while, so it's probably time for an upgrade, I'd imagine. But anyway, whatever. That's completely nothing to do with Hunter x Hunter at all. Anyway, what is to do with Hunter x Hunter is what happened last episode. So Mello and Gon, the sort of partnership that we've got going on there with the chameleon chimera ant and Gon, he basically gave up what his power was to Gon, and as far as I know, he's the only one that knows about it. Because obviously the whole perfect plan thing is that not only does he go invisible, but he becomes completely imperceivable, meaning that, you know, it's almost like he doesn't even exist, and he can also pass that on to somebody else as long as he's touching them, I believe. So it makes for the best sneak attack you could possibly imagine. And obviously Mello was wanting to get revenge because Meruem killed Peggy, which was the penguin dude that was doing research, because apparently that was his stepdad before they became chimera ants, and that was something that Mello retained through his transition. So yeah, there was that. We also had the call with Gon and Knuckle. Knuckle basically saying that Morel and Nov, the plans changed up, so now they are they've surrounded the capital, so they can fuck up the sort of Nepopito puppeteer plan that way. But because of that, they won't have the energy to go up against a royal guard of their own, so that plan's changing up, even though I thought they were going to fight against one. Turns out that's probably not going to happen. We have who else? Killua is I hope he's getting treatment right now, because a couple episodes ago he was not in very good shape. But he's got his new found friend Icalgo, the octopus dude, who I really like. So I hope nothing happens to him. And finally we have King Meruem, who is playing games against sort of like the best sort of in the world, like champions at different games such as like chess and shogi, or shogi, sorry, not shogi. What's shogi again? Shogi. What's shogi out of? Which character's that? Shogi. Oh, it's fucking My Hero, isn't it? Never mind. Anyway, yeah, there's nothing else to really talk about anyway, so we're just going to get into episode 103 and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 103. Right, well, I really like the blind girl. I at the end there, Meruem's clearly getting like agitated, and I hope I'm trying to get a gauge on like what the king really like what he's all about, because at the very beginning, when we first were introduced to him as like a character, it seemed like he didn't really care much about anything other than getting a good meal that would satisfy him, and that was it. So he has complete disregard for life, and then it sort of just changed when, last episode, the episode before this one, where he's playing games and stuff, and it is sort of just like a pastime. But when he's saying like, if I beat all these people, then I'll be the best in the world, it seems like he does want to get like, it seems like he's developed some something else aside from just wanting to get a good meal. I think he wants to prove that nobody can stand against him. So I'm worried what direction he will take getting angry against this girl, because I don't want anything to happen to her. I have a real sort of soft spot for, well, first of all, it's if you've seen like things like some other shows that I've reacted to. You know that I have a real soft spot for children, women, and I don't know if I've ever mentioned it before, but those that are that suffer from blindness or deafness, like stuff like that, like disabilities and stuff. Like it really like it really it's unnerving me having her there. I kind of just I hope that it goes the way of, because I hope it's a case of, because he can't beat her, that she stays alive. But the problem is that I feel like the only reason why he's keeping her alive is so that eventually he will beat her, and that's the only reason why. Which I guess for her, it's not like, she clearly enjoys it, and by the way she's sort of acting, it seems like this is her one thing that she does and she's good at. Like, she's a bit of a klutz, like passing out, and she's saying like, I can't even do what a baby does, kind of thing. It makes me think that she is like, that's the one thing she focuses on. Like, she's unbelievable at this game, but anything else she doesn't really care for. And just not really good at anything else, kind of thing. So there's that. I wonder if there is some kind of Nen involved. I don't really know. I want to say no, because I feel like then it would be in the realm of sort of cheating, because using Nen to sort of, I don't know, I mean, I'm trying to think of some kind of Nen ability that she possibly could have that would, like, not be cheating, but I feel like everything would be, like, using Nen to sort of, like in a foresight kind of way, to obviously read the opponent's moves so many moves ahead, because that's what the guy was saying. Like, I mean, I was thinking there at the end that she the way that, because apparently Gungi isn't even a real game, so I was trying to look at like what was happening as little as it shows you. So he was talking about like the spy thing, and I guess the spy was the one that had like had 3 up, like a tower of 3 that had been placed in a specific spot and hadn't done anything all game. I was taking it to like as a that she put it there because she knew what move she was going to make. But then I completely disregard the fact, but how do you tell the moves that the opponent's going to make unless she had the first turn and she made certain moves knowing what he's doing. So I feel like the thing that Meruem isn't getting is that when he was talking to Cheyenne, he was saying it's only going to be like 4 or 5 games left until I get a read on what she's doing, on her movements. I wonder if he's not thinking that, like, he's not thinking about his moves enough. He's thinking about her moves so he can try and read hers, and because of that she's just reading him, and it's actually working against him, and that's why he can never win. I think that's possibly the reason why. So I think that's possibly what's got to do with it, and I don't think there's any real Nen involved. I was just wondering because she opened her eyes at one, like, when she plays, even though she can't see. So it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, well, what, like, kind of, what's the point of her opening her eyes? And that's why I thought like maybe there was some kind of Nen involved, or it's just some sort of way to maybe get at the opponent, or I don't know, maybe it's just her focus thing. Who knows? Because like when bless her heart, when she was saying like, if it bothers you I can close them, like would it really change all that much? I don't know, I really don't. But yeah, I hope nothing bad happens to her, so let's just hope that is the case. And yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for an outcome to the reason why this is being put to the forefront in the story, and I have to assume that it's related to like they are using the board games as a way to sort of mirror what, like, how you can take him down, like when the actual fights come up. Because I feel like anime does that a lot. Like, you know, Code Geass is a prime example. Like, they use chess in that, you know, that sort of imagery, and the way they make their plays similar to how they set up like their armies and stuff in, you know, in the actual military and stuff. So, you know, I feel like anime does that a lot, where they, you know, use, and chess is one that is brought up a lot. But, you know, maybe it is that kind of thing that they are setting up, because I feel like Hunter x Hunter doesn't really waste any time giving you nonsense. Like, everything kind of does mean something. So, you know, but I'm just waiting for that sort of, for them to sort of confirm that. What else? So, we had what is it? Morel? Is that what it is? I keep forgetting this guy's name. Like, it's so difficult to remember, and I don't know why. Yeah, Morel. So Morel is he's clearly, well, obviously we know that he's very strong, considering, you know, he's kind of put. He's probably, he'll not be on par with Netero, I don't think, but he's clearly up there, because they had those three as like kind of like sort of, you know, on equal footing kind of thing. Even though Netero was sort of leading it, they were clearly, you know, maybe not as good, but like, you know, near enough. So Morel could, the deep purple thing. Well, obviously, you know, I said it in the reaction, but the smoke on the water thing, that's got to be what that is. Because he uses smoke, doesn't it? So that's got to be what it is. But you can conjure up to 216 of those, though there wouldn't be really, they wouldn't be all that efficient. But with 50, he can sort of get them to a point where they're completely indistinguishable from being a human when someone's using N, which is, I mean, that's crazy. Just to think about. But he got taken into a sort of a bubble. That's something that Cheeto created. So clearly something has happened. When he met with Leol, and Leol was giving him that whole spiel, I thought he was talking shit, and he was just like, you know, like hyping him up kind of thing, you know, gassing him up. I thought that's what he was doing, but apparently not. I guess, yeah, I mean, it makes sense now why Leol was so confident in telling them that, you know, we can get rid of that APR thing. And I thought they were just, you know, thinking that it was that easy to get rid of. Apparently it is, because that little girl, which her name did crop up, and I can't fucking hell, where is it? I'm sure it was like sort of near the end, but yeah, here we go. It would have been round here, right? It's somewhere around here. I don't want to put any thingy on. Hirin, that's her name. Right, so Hirin can exercise Nen. And it's weird, because she's like holding, like, almost like she's pregnant. It's strange. I'll write down a name, because I don't know, who knows, it might have to crop up again. But yeah, it's quite clear that Leol, you know, I mean, well, this is his subordinate, right? So, however, he was saying it in the present, like he was saying that Aunt Hirin is occupied with exercising the Nen on Cheeto, so it's not. I wonder if it's not like getting rid of it permanently. Like, for example, the dude that was in the Greed Island arc that was getting that he went on to help Crollo get rid of the Nen that Crollo had on his the Kurapika gave him, right? Because what was the name of it? Was like a Nen beast or something that the guy conjured that allowed that, you know, basically ate the fucking, like, the Nen and got rid of it. I don't think this is the same. It makes me, because he's saying that she is still occupied with exercising the Nen, makes me think that it's possibly, I don't know, either it takes a very long time in order to get rid of it, or it's just it's a temporary thing. As long as she's holding it in place, it can't affect somebody. That's what it makes me think. So yeah, I don't think they would have had any real way of getting rid of that, other than by using the Nenbeast thing. But apparently that's not the case. And then I guess Cheeto he just, like the other Chimera ants that have sort of evolved their own sort of Nen specialty and all of that. That he made a tag arena, though I suppose he is a more playful Chimera ant, so I guess it kind of makes sense. Though, I don't know really what he's getting at doing what he's doing. He's got, because surely, what's stopping him from trying to kill Morel as opposed to just playing a game of tag? I suppose he's sort of wanting the end of the 8 hours to come across. The thing is, Morel said wake me up in 5 hours, so I don't know. Morel's, it's not a case of like wake me up in 8 hours when it's done. So Morel's still sort of figuring it out. But I think that the plan is to get Cheeto annoyed so that he comes to him and then touch him, The question is, how many times can Cheeto do it? Is it just an endless game of tag? Like, as long as, if Morel does end up, getting him, what stops Cheeto from getting him again, getting stuck in? He won't make the same mistake twice. So, I don't know. It's all dependent really on what happens at the end of the 8 hours. I want to know the process of where they come up with these abilities. Like, how does it happen? It's just odd. I want to know the process, though. I don't know if we're ever going to get that. I don't know if we're really going to get it. It just seems like anything that can crop up in an imagination can be done. It's crazy. And yeah, other than that, that's basically all I've got. So yeah. We also had the little Goon, Knuckle, and Mellow sort of seen. Mellow obviously hiding out, wondering if they can be trusted and stuff like that. It's kind of like obviously with trust being sort of like a two-way street that needs to be sort of bridged between them. He was looking at like Shoot and saying like he's got this like judgy eyes. There's no way that But he said specifically after the whole like monologue that he was doing that he wouldn't be able to trust them because he feels that they wouldn't trust him. Because obviously I think it's fair to say that the trust issue lies with like Mellow, because he's a Chimera ant and they're the enemy right now. So it's kind of all about that. But he did, he clearly saw what happened with Knuckle, and he saw, because basically it mirrored exactly what the audience got to see from Knuckle, like seeing him strut about almost like he's like one of those fucking clear bullies or whatever, and he has that sort of act that he has on. But when you see like his sort of his passionate side come out, like that's when like you switch, and it's like Mellow was like what we were when we saw him for the first time, kind of thing. So it's just one of those things where he might have some trust in Knuckle, and he sees that passionate side, so therefore the chances of him trusting Mellow are higher than Shoot. So we'll see what happens with that. But that is all I've got for episode 103. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below I've linked certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you can get yourself over there. And I also have a Patreon page as well. So if you don't want to support me on Patreon, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards depending on how much you want to support me with. So there's the early access tier for $5 a month. Gives you access to shows a week early, and you get 4 episodes of Hunter x Hunter every week. That's 2 on Monday and 2 on Friday. As opposed to the YouTube General Public that only get 2 episodes every week. So by the time this episode comes out on YouTube for the general public, you can go over, become an early access tier patron, and you'll have access to like the rest of the show in reactions, because this is episode 103 right now. So by the time this goes out on YouTube for the general public, I'll probably be finished the show. So if you can binge watch the rest of the show within like a month, it's only going to cost you $5. So it's a pretty good deal. And there's also full length tier there for $10 a month. That doesn't matter for this show, but for other shows you will need that. And then there are other tiers where you can pay to have certain shows reacted to, so you can go have a look at them and see what they offer. But that's all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.